Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to Morning Verses with Mike. It's Monday morning. I hope your day is starting off absolutely amazing. And this morning we're going to jump right into this and get rolling. Just a quick thought. This morning I am reading from the book of Psalms. It's a song book in the Bible. And as with every morning, I'm reading from the New Living Translation, Every Man's Bible. It talks about how some men... Oh, I'm going to turn that down all the way over there. It talks about how some men think that praise and worship is for women only, yet there's a whole songbook here for men. And so one of the, just kind of a tidbit fact here is when you're looking at the book of Psalms, because I always wondered this, and so this is just a side note, but I always wondered, hey, how do I know which of the Psalms to read? Psalms is plural, but when you're reading an individual verse or chapter here, then it is, Psalm number whatever. So I thought I'd share that with you. It was just one of those, I always wondered, I think, growing up, that it was like, well, is it Psalms or Psalm? And it depends on if you're talking about the whole book or an individual. So just a little piece of wisdom there. So this morning, I'm going to be sharing Psalm 56. And it's, Psalm 56, verse 3 says, "But when I am afraid, I will put my trust in you." That's all it is. It's simple. When I am afraid, I will put my trust in you. And this is one of those things that just seems simple, right? It is a verse that is easier said than done. Because oftentimes we're bombarded, we're berated by all of these things from the outside that are being sent towards us, like arrows on fire and so forth, but they're all coming in from the outside and it's all this negativity and it's affecting us. And in fact, the verses prior to this one are talking about how we're under constant attack from the outside. And I know you, just like me, like we have doubts. We have fears. I have fears. We run into those even if it's momentary, right? We've all been there as to where, and so that's where I'm saying it's easier said than done, because we can say, hey, when I'm afraid, I'll have trust in you, but there's still that fear that seeps in sometimes when that stuff is coming in from the outside. If it's the negativity coming in and you start to question, we all do that at the beginning, and that's okay. It's one of those things. This is one of those verses that is truly a great affirmation. It's just the reminder. It's not saying you're not going to have doubts or you're not going to have fears or you're not going to have concerns or you're not going to have questions. It says, when I am afraid, knowing that you're going to be afraid. I'm going to be afraid. When that happens, trust in God. When we doubt, trust in God. When we're anxious, trust in God. All of those things, because they are going to happen. Trust and act. And here's the key. You have to remember the action part. You can't just blindly trust. What is the saying? It's affirmation without action is just a daydream. So when we're talking about trusting in God, sometimes trust is the action. Trust is that initial action. It's that catalyst to get you moving and get you going to where you need to be. So yes, you have to trust. Oftentimes it also requires another action in addition to that. So that's the reminder for today, this Monday morning, whether it's whatever it is that is seeping in from the outside, if it's coming in to get you, He knows that those things will create doubts and anxiousness and frustration and fear. You're going to have them. It's not that you won't experience that, but when you do, just take a step back, take a deep breath, and trust in God. So that's the message. I hope you have a great day. And remember, I do this every single weekday, 6:15 a.m. Do me a favor, if you're gaining something out of these episodes, share the video. I would really appreciate it. That's one great way that we can share our faith and get the word out. Also, I haven't asked this in a while, and I realize this. If you have a verse that's impactful to you, share it in the comments. Share it in the sidebar. If you have a verse that is speaking to you in the Bible, And, let's continue the conversation after the video. And then sometimes I'll use those for a video, because as they're affecting you, as they're impacting you, I go in and I check them out and I read them and I go, man, that is awesome. So I would love to share that with you. And until we speak next, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. We'll talk to you soon, everybody.